Wait, what? Our rugged cowboy hero swapping ranches for courtrooms? Hold on to your hats, y'all. Kevin Costner's dramatic exit from Yellowstone has taken an even juicier turn. Word on the prairie is he's galloping straight into a legal showdown. From TV's top ranch to the cold, hard benches of a courtroom, this is one rodeo we didn't see coming. Grab your gavels as we find out what the heck is going on. Ever heard of Yellowstone? If not, where have you been? We are diving deep into the cowboy-filled world of the Dutton clan, led by none other than the Silver Fox himself, Kevin Costner. Yep, the very same Kevin that had us all swooning in The Bodyguard and Dances with Wolves. This time, he's all about the cowboy boots, the wide Montana skies, and the drama. And trust us, there is a lot of it. So, Kevin, or should we say John Dutton, owns the Yellowstone Ranch. Think of it as the Beverly Hills of ranches. It's the largest, it's glitzy, and everyone wants a piece of it. Now, John isn't just some rich dude with a lot of cows. Oh no, he's a sixth-generation rancher. That's right, his family's been wrangling cattle since before it was cool. And if there's one thing to know about John, it's that he'd do anything to keep his ranch. Land developers, sly politicians, or even rival ranchers trying to out-cowboy him, he'll take them all on, and not always in the nicest way. But wait, it gets better. John's got this big, complicated family. 4 kids, Lee, Casey, Beth, and Jamie. It's like the Kardashians of the Wild West. Every kid has their own drama, their own beef. Lee's the golden boy. Casey? He's the wild card married to Monica, a stunning Native American beauty from the Broken Rock Reservation. Their love story is a whole saga on its own. Beth? Let's just say she's fierce and doesn't play by the rules. And Jamie? Well, every family has its black sheep. Speaking of family, let's not forget about Tate. This cute-as-a-button kiddo is Casey and Monica's son, and let us tell you, Grandpa John adores him. But oh boy, being the Dutton heir isn't easy. With big lands come big responsibilities and even bigger family feuds. But here's the piping hot tea in the cowboy drama. Our dear Kevin, the handsome ranch owner John Dutton on Yellowstone, rode off into the sunset after season 4. Why, you ask? Well, word on the prairie is that it's a mix of personal and professional drama. Hollywood, right? First up, his personal life. Kevin and his second wife, Christine Baumgartner, have called it quits after nearly 2 decades. The reason? That age-old Hollywood story. Irreconcilable differences. Ugh. As if their love story coming to an end wasn't dramatic enough, the plot thickens with Costner coughing up a hefty chunk for child support for their 3 kiddos, Caden, Hayes, and Grace. We mean, with pockets as deep as Costner's, you'd expect that number to be more digits than we can count on our fingers. And here's the juicy twist. Costner spilled some major beans during a child support hearing, and boy, does it make our ears tingle. He openly shared his dismay about hanging up his cowboy hat on Yellowstone. With a touch of bitterness in his voice, he said he wasn't thrilled about being out of the Yellowstone limelight. And now the million-dollar question, or should we say multi-million, considering the divorce settlements? Was the emotional and financial strain of the divorce a driving factor behind Costner's shocking exit from Yellowstone? Was it all too much to juggle a high-stakes show and a high-stakes divorce? Or is it just an excuse to dive into a newer, possibly greener pastures? But why wasn't Costner happy with Yellowstone anymore? Here's the dirt. Costner, the big-time star of Yellowstone, started getting antsy boots about the direction of his character, John Dutton. He's claiming Dutton turned into a dark, brooding brute, and he wasn't here for it. Kevin, apparently wanting to show off the softer, less gritty sides of John, felt the show's scripts weren't letting him do that. Remember those heartbreaking scenes of John in the picturesque landscapes of Montana and Utah? Well, it turns out that filming there wasn't Costner's cup of tea either. Word on the street is he was aching for the warm Cali sun and some quality family time. Now, in comes Taylor Sheridan, the puppet master behind Yellowstone. According to him, Costner's not-so-subtle desire to scale back his Yellowstone hours and chase his Hollywood movie dreams was throwing spanners in the works. It's like wanting the biggest piece of pie, but not wanting to be at the table the whole dinner. Sheridan spilled that Costner's unpredictable schedule was a production nightmare. And if you think this was all a big setup for Costner's grand exit from the show, Sheridan's got a zinger for you. He says that Costner's departure didn't change the grand plan for John Dutton. Instead, it just rushed things a bit. just when you thought the drama couldn't get any thicker. It's time for round 2. Fresh off the gossip press, the big bombshell dropped in May 2023, just before Yellowstone Season 5 hit our screens. Ready for it? Costner packed his bags and said adios to the ranch. Fans everywhere were shook. We mean, who could imagine Yellowstone without its dashing leading man? But true to form, our cowboy hero left with a tip of his hat, thanking all the die-hard fans. He said he was proud of the cowboy boots he'd filled and cheekily hinted that he had more surprises in store for us. Rumor mills are buzzing about a spicy pay dispute between Costner and the Yellowstone bigwigs. Can you believe they tried to shortchange Mr. Hollywood himself? According to sources, he was offered a skimpier paycheck for doing the second half of Season 5. And despite Yellowstone reigning supreme as TV's top dog, and Kevin not only being its star but also its executive producer, if that isn't a slap in the face with a wet fish, we don't know what is. Our man Kevin wasn't going to let this slide. He rolled up his sleeves and dived into intense negotiations with the Paramount Network. But it seems they played hardball and walked away, leaving Costner waving a potential contract and a lot of Benjamins up in the air. And when we say a lot, we mean a whopping $12 million. OMG, right? So, between the whispers of courtrooms and potential lawsuits, things are heating up more than a summer's day in Montana. Costner hinted he might just take them to court for the cool millions he believes he's owed. And without Kevin, where does Yellowstone go from here? Not like the way he went out was any fun. Well, they gave him a send-off that was straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. Picture this, our cowboy hero, ever the Good Samaritan, stops to help out a stranded driver, but bam! Out of nowhere, he gets shot multiple times. Heartstrings were pulled when he managed to call his son Casey, but sadly, John met a tragic end on his way to the hospital. And who do we find out was behind the dastardly deed? John's long list of enemies, of course. The whole thing sparked a massive family war and a funeral scene that would give the most dramatic soap opera a run for its money. Everyone came out to bid John Dutton a final adieu. But hold the phone, because the real fireworks were over on Twitter. The Yellowstone fandom was in meltdown mode. Fans were livid. They'd been on this wild western ride for years, rooting for Costner's character, and now they felt like the rug was pulled from right under their cowboy boots. The Twitterverse was ablaze with angry emojis and all caps tweets. Many pointed fingers at Costner, accusing him of leaving them high and dry. They felt he'd hung up his spurs and galloped away, ruining their beloved show. The show's creator, Sheridan, wasn't spared either. Fans felt he'd let the golden goose go and accused him of ringing down the curtain too soon. Petitions started floating around with fans threatening to boycott Yellowstone and its spin-offs. No Costner, no view became the rallying cry. They were mad as hell, and they weren't going to take it anymore. But before you start thinking Kevin's hanging up his cowboy boots for good, think again. He's already got another iron in the fire. He's inked a deal with Netflix for a fresh Western series called Horizon. And guess what? It's not just one movie, but a 4-part extravaganza based on Louis L'Amour's novels. Kevin's set to play Barnabas Sackett, a 17th century adventurer. Swapping one cowboy hat for another, huh? As the dust settles on this Hollywood drama, only time will tell who will ride off victorious. Stay tuned. What are your thoughts about this? Let us know in the comments.